How you doing, everyone? Thought I'd show you guys the smoker I made. Smoked myself some mackerel that I caught here. Made it, obviously, from an old stove from the side of the road. Of course, the stove wasn't actually that old, but I guess everything's old nowadays. So, funny part is, as you can see here, I'm actually in the garage. Because, yeah, no open fires, so what can they do if it's inside, right? Anyhow, got myself stove on the side of the road. Totally stripped it. Everything off it, you know. Make sure you get everything off it. Plastic feet, everything. The thing I did, I stuffed a little piece of insulation back in the top to kind of prevent a little bit of smoke from getting out of that side. But there's insulation, all goes on the inside, everything. You got to get everything off. Light bulb out of the inside. And I actually sealed that off on the inside. The bottom plate, put a piece of metal over that. Metal screwed that down. I didn't really even need that dirt, but I threw that there anyway. Another hole in the back, sealed that off. Like I said, the one on the inside that had the light bulb, I sealed that off. The drawer at the bottom, took that out, stripped that off, took the front of the drawer, threw on a couple hinges, and a little swingy for your lock here. Dug a hole in the floor. And of course I got my firewood going and the wood chips I keep throwing on. It's kind of a bit of a balancing act, you know, with the hot coals and the smoke. Looks like I gotta throw some more in there soon. It's getting a little warm. But it allows you to, here, access of course to the fire. Allows you to try to regulate the temperature and the flame and the smoke. There you go. Get us some smoke going again. This is the first time I've done this actually, so, you know, a bit of a learning process. Of course, this is high-end stuff here. My lock doesn't want to cooperate the best. There we go. So, drilled some holes in the top. I don't know how necessary they were, but drilled a little one for the thermometer to stick in. Got that hanging at, what's that now, 150, 145. Weaving over, it's smoking. Anyway, that's about where I wanted it, between 150, 160. Didn't want it too warm. Got the little latch here from the self-cleaning stove a bit. Left that on. And on the inside, got all the fish. Actually, I have 62 mackerel in there, which I spent a few hours catching. What I did was, actually the rack that was used was a little bit short. Must have been in a different oven, but had to tack on little extenders there. But other than that, what I did, I actually cut the thing in half, and then you get two halves, and you can actually create little points and kind of skewers then to hang them on, and it's a little easier to deal with. I actually threw a couple screws in the back there to make sure it doesn't bend too hard with the weight. There's a few fish. I actually threw in a rack from another oven momentarily just to throw the pan on. Oh crap, I got a fish that fell. Wild. Might want to eat that one soon. And of course, one of the biggest jobs, grinding the bottom right out. This only took 10-15 minutes, but... And I ought to be keeping that closed. The temperature drops off pretty quick. See. Well, there it is. High-end economical oven. Find yourself a smoker. Yeah, find yourself a stove with an oven on the side of the road anywhere. Dig a hole in the ground, you're there. That's it. Anyhow, guys, hope you like the idea. Happy smoking. Hey, everyone. Just wanted to do a little add-on to my smoking video. Did one whole batch, and then I just finished my second batch here. I already pulled half of it out of the oven. And I thought I'd add on what I've kind of figured out. So As you can see, actually, I stuffed some of the upper area here with some of the insulation that came out of the stove, just to kind of keep the smoke and heat in a little more control on the airflow. May or may not have been totally necessary. For the wood chips, I was kind of using a combination of wood and wood chips. And really, one could probably get away with using just wood and not chips, honestly, because what I've done, and what's pretty much necessary, is I've just taken a sheet of steel, and this was from the stove itself, actually, the top area, I believe, and I just use it like a door to shut off some of the airflow to the fire below, starve it of oxygen, and boom, starts to smoke up. And you can do it at different levels and still open and close the door, no problem with that. And yeah, works good. And then you get the dirt a little bit around the outside. It seals off pretty decent. Even when the fire, so when you get flames, it's heat. Of course, keep an eye on your temperature gauge, but you get flame, it's heat. You get smoke, and it'll cool down a little eventually. You can always open up the main oven a little bit. Let some of the heat out, it'll come down some. I had even had a chunk of insulation down at that bottom area just to help smother it a bit more if the flame got out of control. So I've heard all kinds of different, methods for temperature and time for smoking. Some people do it up around 160, 170 degrees Celsius and smoke it for only 2.5 hours or so. I like much longer smoke time, dries it out a little more. I was trying to get mine a little drier, and I did the brine as well, for basically because I'm doing so much and I want it to last longer. So if you get a drier and the saltier brine, which means, and another difference, some people will just brine it for 20 minutes, some people overnight. I'm pretty much overnight guy. And my temperature was ranging anything from well below the mark. I would guess like 90, 100 degrees. And I was smoking anywhere from 5 to 6 hours. You could probably do maybe 7 if it stayed really low. It'd jump up now and then, it'd go right up 160, 170, 180, but maybe only for 10 minutes at a time, and then I'd get a little more under control. So it's a little bit of a game, playing with the fire and the smoke and the heat. But I like the longer smoke period. So you could call it a hot smoke, but it's a little bit more of a medium. And I was using maple wood straight off the firewood pile, and it's beautiful. Like, it's exactly what I wanted. I think it's great. I wouldn't go through the effort of buying any wood if you can just get some maple to use. And take a look inside here. There is the back half. I already took one half out. And once it start getting nice and golden, you're getting half close, but basically you got to try to judge the moisture level. It's still got a ways to go even once it first gets golden, but at least you're at least halfway there. And yeah, have a pan at the bottom. It's a good idea. And then I brought another little grill piece out, or a cooling stand there for some of the ones that would fall, and put it on that to keep it out of the liquid dripping off the other fish. So we'll take a look here, see what we got. Like I said, this was my second batch, and yeah, it's turning out pretty good. So when it's really warm, it's still going to look pretty moist. So what you can do, you can take a piece and go throw it in a fridge for a little while, see where it's at. Like I said, I like mine pretty dry and pretty cooked. And believe it or not, this is, as much as it looks fairly moist, which it is still, but once that cools off in the fridge, it'll harden up quite a bit there. So yeah, wanted to add that in. Pretty important there to use this bottom plate. You can really regulate things well. Helps a lot. Otherwise you're going to go through a lot of wood chips trying to drown out your fire half the time. And definitely get yourself a thermometer to keep an eye on it, because it'll jump up quick on you. Alright. Hope the update was useful. Happy smoking. Hey everybody. Here at 5 in the morning. It's a little dark. I'm gonna do a little fishing. Haven't caught anything yet. I thought I'd show you guys how easy it is to go fishing here when things are going good. And let me tell you, I can hear them. Just could be tricky. I only got 2 hands, unfortunately, and the cell phone without the GoPro. So I'm just gonna drop my fucking hook in here. Let's see. Unfortunately, your view is going to be a little rough, but I don't want to drop my phone in the water. Oh, sounds like one got off. There it is, 2 mackerel. There's thousands of them down there. Stay still, everybody. Oh, good, one got off. Number 1. Number 2. You see here, I got on minnow, and then a mackerel jig setup, so there's 3, which is the one, 3 other hooks above that. Fortunately, it's kind of dark. Again, set my rod over the freaking bridge. Get it to drop into the water. Let's see what I can get here. Of course, I don't have a glove. I didn't have a really bright light there. The water's not that far away. I can hear them. Okay. So you gotta be careful there not to. Yes. Oh, what do you know? 2 more. That one's off the hook. Love it. Alright. Just thought I'd show you guys the fun. This kind of takes a little longer there with one hand, but I'm holding the cell phone in the other. I think I should have up a video for the smoking and stuff too. So we're smoking these fish up. Alright, peace out. Everyone, do a little mackerel jig in here. See if the going's good. Any luck I won't drop my phone in the freaking water. As you can see there, I got on a couple of hooks. See these guys come along in schools. Get one on. want. Just leave it. If you get a couple more, you never know. Just do them. It's kind of hard to reel there. There you go, couple mackerel. This guy can leave off the hook for me. More. Poor guy got a little bloody. There it is. Going gets good. There you go. You come right off the hook for me. Self-processing fish. Yeah, they're not huge, but yeah, smoke them up. They're not bad. Give a little shot of the area. See, we're here on a bridge. So actually, the ocean comes in on that side and on that side. This is kind of the end, so it works out good. The tide kind of swashes back and forth all day. Anyhow, peace out. Hey everybody. Got myself a beautiful morning to go fishing. Mosquitoes so fucking everywhere. Lots of mackerel in the water. Over there, you probably can't see them, but at the edge of that rock. There's a crane over there. We got three little ducks coming in. I think I might have scared them. They're still coming. I wanted to show you guys some mackerel fishing again here where you can actually see the water. The mosquitoes. Oh, it's like fighting a freaking army. Try to keep your sanity. Loons, that's what they are. Fish just jumped right there too. And over to my right. Well, I'm gonna grab them. The rod again. Look at these fish right here. I don't know if you can see them. Ridiculous. I got myself a couple. And they're jumping right here too. There. It's there, you can see them now. Try to do this without losing my phone in the water. So I'm going to set you down just for a split second so I can do a little tiny cast. Can't cast and keep my cell phone under the water at the same time. So the next tricky part is going to be reeling. Here, little fishies. Oh, something's going on. Oh, okay. Some hooks right there. tell you, a little while ago, I couldn't even put my hook in the water. I was pulling them out. The freaking flies. Got one. Been there for a minute, I might get 2 or 3 more. They're not that thick right now. It's not a huge one, but it'll do. There it is. Easy mackerel fishing in the morning if you take the mosquitoes. Wish I had pulled up 3 or 4 for you at once, but they're starting to thin out a little bit. I don't want to lose my phone in the water there. Reeling too much. Maybe a GoPro's in need. Alright guys, peace.